Well, hello, hello, hello. Much love to you all. May God bless you all. I've been really big about talking about AI off and on a lot, that I don't trust AI. And I think a lot of the end times to do with is going to play with AI. We know the beast algorithm system. Google runs YouTube. They don't like trigger words, they don't like things. And this is what the AI is sought out to do in one aspect, is to stop the truth. I'm reading from Prophecy News Watch. The pathway to the image of the beast. Real time AI analysts could fulfill prophecy here. Google has launched one of their biggest things of all time. It's called Gemini. So, the real time data that it does is Google's new Gemini system has shown that it can understand real time content such as live video and human speech. With new data and sensors, this AI will be able to observe, discuss, and act upon occurrences in the real world. So, we know self-driving cars. I remember my cousin told me that when he went to Arizona, he was in a self-driving car. It was actually, it would do certain aspects which already collect so much data as it already is. We already know that your modem in your house, it tracks, your heat signatures, where you're at, what you do. I mean, for instance, I can just talk to my wife about cheeseburgers, and then all of a sudden you get advertisements popping up on your internet about cheeseburgers, or you'll see a video ad on YouTube about cheeseburgers, because this is what it does. It picks up these keywords and other words to say, hey, we got to hide this video because it's trigger words that go. So, this real time data, this is supposed to be one of the most powerful ones. It's going to really pick up even a lot more. And we already know that they have this big thing about stopping hate speech. And of course, the Bible is in their lines of hate speech. That's exactly what we know, and where we're approaching this deadline of it's going to be even harder than it already is to bring things out. Right when the Israeli war started, not only was there a big shift, I said this is the most predominant time because the algorithm had allowed truth and Christian channels to start to be seen a little bit more. And then they flipped that switch off within a month's time, not long after that. But we got to keep our eye on this because there is privacy problems that can come from this. I mean, everything in Hollywood. I mean, you remember the movies like I, Robot and all this. Like, this stuff is slowly coming to life. It really is. Terminator, things like these. It's really coming to life. And this AI gets to know and support us in every aspect of everyday life. So that's the trade off that they're talking about this. But it's actually potentially more dangerous than you know, because it's going to know you almost probably more than some people's spouses know each other, or maybe even more than any, because it's going to, backlog everything you do, and it's going to know exactly what. I mean, this could be really huge. And the Bible does tell us that the Antichrist is given life to speak on his behalf. Now, this has always been a real big thing when we talked about the Chat GPT, as they're bringing up here. It was introduced in 2022, and it had some scary issues listening to the video. It was, immediately contradicting what they said it would not do. And here's the thing with when we see this is scary. For instance, I want to go to Revelation 13, verse 15. And he had power to give life. The word life here, we see that in the Greek, this word life is to breathe life into, to breathe into, to give a spirit. It is to, figuratively bring it to life. And that's what we're seeing. Unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So where does this really tie in with, we have been giving life to AI. And we've even been warned by Google experts that this AI that we keep giving life to will eventually get to a point in time where we can't control it anymore. And we've already seen some mishaps that have happened. That verse there, for instance, I like what's said in here. Could it be killed? Well, you know, AI could. AI can track us. AI can alert people. AI is faster at doing things than a human being is. It can do a lot. And here's a little short video about this Chat GPT, this Gemini.
Leading artificial intelligence companies are currently developing even more radical ideas as Google releases its most powerful AI model to date. The tech giant launched Gemini just last week. The new AI model can understand text as well as images, video, and audio. Google says Gemini is also capable of completing complex tasks in math, physics, and even more. It can understand and even generate high quality code. Will Knight joins us now. He is a senior writer for Wired. Thanks so much, Will, for chatting with us. He recently wrote a article dealing, detailing why he feels Gemini is quote the real start of the generative AI boom. Will, take us through this. Why is Gemini so different from the AI technology that's already out there?
Sure. Well, I mean, the truth is we don't have all of the details on how Gemini works, just as we don't on GPT-4. But we do know that it is more powerful than GPT-4, more capable by many benchmarks. It's also the first large AI model to be multimodal, as you said, to work with images, video, and audio from the get-go. And the idea is that this is going to give new capabilities. Some of the videos they've demonstrated seem to show a model that is much better able to make sense of the visual world. And this is a key idea that a lot of people in AI have, is that to make the next leaps in AI, you might need models that have some sort of grounding, that actually learn from the real world, just rather than just learning from text, as ChatGPT does. So doing something that mimics slightly more what we see in biology.
Are we going to keep expecting to see these kinds of leaps forward every so often? We're still getting our arms around ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think that's actually just the most important question, is how much this is going to continue. And it seems that we've had these advances which have come with much larger models and more data, but that seems to be plateauing somewhat. And so when I talked to the CEO of Google DeepMind, Demis Hassabis, he was talking about sort of new ideas that they're going to draw on to try and fix some of the problems you see with things like ChatGPT, to stop them hallucinating, to make them better able to plan, to give them a memory. So taking sort of new...
Hold on a second. He seriously said AI is hallucinating.
ideas and folding them in. That's what I think could be very exciting, because that could take these technologies in fundamentally different ways. So rather than just have new, slight improvements, you could see something more powerful. But it's not certain at all as yet, how much more continued improvements we're going to see.
How is this going to affect the average person, someone like me? Is this going to make it easier to find photos on my phone? What are we seeing here?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think AI has already done that, right? It's already sort of revolutionized a lot of devices, and we've had this era of people freaking out about ChatGPT taking jobs, and it doesn't seem to be doing that so much as just really being folded into people's workflows. And I think we'll see that continue as you have these more powerful tools emerge. You mentioned the phone, and I think one of the things that we'll see with these AI tools is, beyond just being chatbots, you'll have them revolutionize the way we use computers, because the potential there is to have a real personal assistant that you can set it much more complex tasks. It can go and use the web for you. It can use software for you, and we're really just at the beginning of that, I think.
We just have a quick moment, but one of the things that stood out to me here was the idea that this AI can write code.
Right. Well, that's one of the things that
That's the dangerous aspect. It can write code. It can write code. And let me, also enlighten you about Gemini a little bit before we go any further. Is in Greek mythology, the word Gemini, it is associated with Pollux, who was a son of Zeus. And it seems like everything, even with the C19 and all these, other things that have came out, all the names for them have had a Greek god. And now we see this new AI, it has a Greek name that is associated with Greek gods. It's associated with a lot of things like this. It's associated with astrology and all these things. It's and it can create its own code. That is one of the most dangerous aspects. None of the other ones can do this. This thing creating its own code is like in a league of its own.
These language models have proven to be really capable of, and I believe it was somewhat surprising to those who developed them. But they do train them on a lot of code, and code is like language. It's something that you can those machines, those models can reproduce in coherent and useful ways. But it is also, as you allude to, one of the most important things here, because what you now have is agents that you can tell them to do something in English, and they can write code in order to achieve it. They can write a tiny program that goes off and does that on a computer. That's pretty fundamentally, powerful.
Incredible.
And actually should be worried about this taking jobs. I mean, we really should, because of the aspect of um, you could use AI, which they already do it with telemarketers, that takes away telemarketing. So you're not even speaking to a human being anymore. And we already know that there has been a plant. I forget where it was. I think it was Oregon or somewhere here in America somewhere. It was just last week that like they've replaced the whole thing with AI robotics. This is something we should worry about. I mean, it writing its own code means it can change. I mean, I not real smart with this stuff. I took a very small portion in the younger years of my life of trying to get into coding, and the internet is all zeros and ones, 1 0 1 0. I mean, that's just like the Matrix. It's all based on code. I mean, even your video games, your cartoons, your special effects, everything, what is on the internet, it's all based on ones and O's on code. And it's very dangerous. This thing can write its own code because it can mimic so much. We already have false pictures being shared that AI has randomly generated on its own. And, you know, this is the issues that we are getting ready to face. I think this thing is going to take off extremely quick when it does. I think it will be something that takes off in a heartbeat because it's already proving how fast it can operate. So much love to you all. May God bless you all. Please hit that like button. And until we meet again, keep your head up. We fight from victory, not from defeat. And that is thanks to Jesus.